Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third session today of the October month webinars related to AAC. We're really happy to start today's session. Today will be on AAC through the day, ideas for implementing AAC at home. And our speaker will be Anjana Sathyabodha. Some of you may be familiar with her. She is the one who had conducted the AAC course for us for professionals, the first batch. So Anjana Sathyabodha is an RCI certified speech-language pathologist specialized in AAC and autism. With over 10 years of experience, including 5 years in the UK, she now works as an independent consultant and practitioner in Bangalore, providing teletherapy services to families in need of AAC intervention. She works closely with organizations and offers ongoing coaching support to implement AAC for students in need, and is involved in creating courses and training programs related to AAC. She's passionate about advocating for AAC and facilitating communication using a multimodal communication approach. So a warm welcome to Anjana. Thanks once again for joining us today. And any questions you have, please feel free to write it on the Q&A panel, and any comments on the chat panel. For any interactive sessions that she has, please write it on the chat window. And yeah, we'll address your questions at the end of the session. So handing it over to Anjana.
Thank you, Lalita. Good evening, everyone. Today to talk about AAC, how you can implement AAC through the day. So the images that you see on the screen on this slide are symbolic of what we go through in our daily lives, right? So we have the household chores, we have our schedules, busy schedules. And if you're thinking, are you telling me on top of all this to implement AAC? Yes, that's what I'm here to tell you. The word is not on top of what you already have. The word is through the day. So you can implement, it is possible to implement AAC while you're going through the day. So I'm here to share some ideas to implement AAC at home. So like everything else, planning really is important, and planning really helps ease the process. So I'm going to talk about how you can plan to implement AAC at home. And so with planning, you can make the make the process more enjoyable, and you can connect with the child better and make the communication facilitation process more enjoyable. So let's dive in. The objective of this webinar is to share culturally relevant in-home implementation ideas. By culturally relevant, I mean the ideas which you can implement in the Indian household. So I have tailored it to the Indian homes and the kind of routines we have here. So we are hoping that by the end of this webinar, you would be able to recognize the importance of intentionally planning for implementing AAC at home. And you would be able to identify at least 3 opportunities to implement AAC for your child in your home environment. And also, we hope you would be able to identify at least 2 strategies to expand language. So if you've already started and you're looking at expanding language of your AAC user, so we hope that should be possible. So there's a saying that home is where the heart is, right? So you must have heard of that. So I would say expand it to AAC and say that home is where the heart of AAC implementation is, because there are umpteen opportunities at home, communication opportunities to build language, and there are real reasons to communicate at home. Right from the time we are up, we are communicating with different communication partners, and we are communicating for different reasons. We are requesting, we are protesting, we are commenting on something, or we are expressing opinions. So there are real reasons. Home is the place where there are real reasons to communicate, and that's why I say that home is the heart of AAC implementation. And on the right hand side, what you see is called the circle of communication partners. Communication partners are all the people around the child who can interact with the child. So And within those circles, family, or the family members are the closest. The child being the center of the circle, the family is the closest to the center. So the message here is that the parents and the family members, people at home, are the closest and the most important people who can impact, who have a bigger impact on facilitating the process of communication. So, like I said, communication partners are all the people, right? So in the Indian homes, we have parents, siblings, and apart from parents and siblings, you may have grandparents. They can also get involved in the process. And we sometimes have live-in domestic help, or domestic help who come for some time, spend some time with your child, and maybe take your child for a walk or take your child to the park. So those people are also important, and they're all communication partners who can make a difference in facilitating communication of your child. So everybody can model: parents, siblings, grandparents, and caregivers. So everybody, this is teamwork, and everybody can get involved. So first things first, the first thing that you're all going to do is schedule. Of course, you already have schedules. We all have schedules. We run on schedules. We run our days on schedules. So and within that schedule, I would ask you to look for or communication opportunities. So when can you identify, what time can you identify when you can kind of facilitate that communication process with your child and use AAC. And once you identify those communication opportunities, you can look at how you can embed language concepts and vocabulary. So routines, there are morning routines, evening routines, bedtime routines. Routines are common for all of us. And then we have the chores to do at home. And then we have some activities and things that our child likes to do. So we, the things that I have circled is just for an example. It's not that, you should choose these. You can identify these, pick one thing from your daily routine, pick a chore that you can, one or two chores that you can use for facilitating communication using AAC, and pick activities that your child is interested in, and work on it. So these are great opportunities, and home is, like I said, is the place where all this is happening. And home is a natural setting for these things to happen. So you can embed, these are great opportunities to embed language while you're doing this. So, second thing is, the key strategy is modeling. So modeling is the foundation upon which everything else will be built upon. So how many of you are, are you familiar with modeling? Can you put it in the chat box? You can put it in the chat box. Familiar with modeling, new to modeling, or you've already practiced modeling quite a bit. Okay, so there are some answers. Some of them are saying new, familiar. Yeah, familiar, new. I think there's a mix of both. Okay, right. So I'm going to quickly, since there are people who are new to this, I'm going to quickly show you how modeling works. Okay, so here is what I want to say to you all. Hello, I'm happy to meet you. I want to wish you all a happy Dasara. So this is what I spoke, but if I have to use an AAC system to model, this is how I would probably do it. So I have my AAC system with me. So whenever you are modeling, you would whenever you're modeling, you have to have the AAC system with you, right? And as you saw in those lines, I have highlighted few words that I'm going to model. So which means that I'm going to tap the highlighted words on the device. So I just want to greet you all and say hello. And feel. I want to tell you how I'm feeling, and I'm happy to meet you all, and I want to wish you all a very happy Dasara. So this is how modeling works. So you choose specific words to model on the AAC system while you are speaking, while you are interacting. So this is how you do it with the child as well. So you're connecting with the child, you're talking to the child, but you model, you tap, you press on, you press certain words on the device. So if you're using a low-tech version, something like a communication chart, you do the same. So you point to the words that you want to model. So you will see this theme, repeating throughout the presentation. So these are the words I tapped on the AAC system. So this is modeling. And modeling is also called partner augmented input and aided language input, aided language stimulation. So it all means the same. So so now we all have schedules, and we need to identify the times, the when, what, how, and who of modeling. So you need to, this is just an example of how you can plan, how you can go about implementing this. So suppose you have, if you have more time in the mornings, and if you feel like your child is ready and fresh during the morning hours, you can use the morning routine, the morning hours to model language. So there is wake up time, using the toilet, during bath time or dressing up. And then you need to figure out what refers to the vocabulary that you're going to model. So let me quickly explain what core words and fringe words are. So core words are words such as open, up, down, want. So these are words other than nouns. These are adjectives, verbs, pronouns, question words, and all of these words which we frequently use. The frequency of usage of these words is high, quite high. It's like 80 to 85% of what we are speaking, what we speak, consists of core words. And fringe words are basically mostly nouns and academic related words, which are very topic specific, and which are specific to a topic, or labels of things like table, chair, things like that. And the frequency of usage of these words while we are speaking is quite less. It's quite low. It makes up for about 20% of the words we speak. So that's about core words and fringe words. So you need to figure out when are the times you're going to model, what words are you going to model, and how are you going to do it. So I'm just going to go through, take one word. I'm going to take open. Open is an easy word to model because we use open quite a lot of times during the day, like open the window, open the door, open the lid or jar, open the fridge. And so this is one example I would like to take you through. So as soon as so you have your AAC system with you, the say Avaz, you have Avaz with you, and then you have planned to model the word open. So when you take the device with you, and you approach the child, and as you're talking to the child, you say, good morning, it's time to wake up, and open. So you can tap on open on the device as you're talking to the child, and you repeat it during other routines as well, like let's open the door, and open the cap of the toothpaste, let's put the toothpaste on. So as you're speaking, you are tapping on the see
actions, more actions.
So let's open the fridge now. Let's take it out. And so you are modeling certain words while you're speaking to the child. And also, like I said, we don't communicate with just one person. So we communicate with different people. So the child also needs to practice communication with different communication partners. So you can also plan as to who is going to model, during the morning routine. Say, for example, dad is going to be modeling during this time. And then during mealtime, mom is going to be doing this. Mom is going to be modeling. And during laundry time, maybe mom again, or if grandparents are available, they could also be involved. And if there are siblings, they can be involved. If you're doing activity-based modeling, like building Lego or doing a puzzle, siblings can pitch in, and they can, you can train them to model. So these are all examples of how you can model, and who can model. So everybody can get involved. So here, as you can see, this is just an example. Like I said, you need not start with, this is not a suggestion as to, to start with these words. So you can that's going to be decided based on your child's level and the assessment results and so on. So you choose a set of words to begin with, and then you go on modeling while you are interacting with the child. So that's one, so you have planned, you have got the vocabulary plan, you have planned when, what and how and who. And the next thing is to engineer the home environment a little bit. So it's very important to make AAC available at all times. So it shouldn't be like, you have planned everything and then the AAC system is not visible, you're searching, or it's not charged. So keep that ready. One suggestion is to keep it at a certain place in the house, in the same place. So, you know where it is, and the child knows where it is, and it's accessible. Another way to make AAC accessible and make using AAC a habit is to have a low-tech version of the high-tech device, or you can use low-tech communication charts and boards. Also, you can, this is one example a parent has used. She has printed low-tech boards from the high-tech device. That's something that I'll show you towards the end of the presentation as to how you can do it. So she has got it laminated and put up in different places at home. So she has put it in, as you can see in this picture, she's put it under the dining table, under the glass table. So here the child can point to words like hungry, thirsty, want water, more, and so on. And she's put up one in the bathroom and one near the door, and also one in the balcony. So this really helps in making it accessible at all times. And she also has a sibling who can sibling who can sit with him and play, and he's also involved in the process. The domestic help also is kind of getting trained as to how to use it. The sports teacher who comes to take him out, he's also got used to using it. So you can, making it available and making it accessible will really help in getting more and more communication partners involved in the process. So making AAC available at all times is possible. If sometimes we have this mindset barrier that, oh, it's not possible to take the device everywhere. It's not possible to use the device everywhere. So there are so many options, creative options, like you see in this picture. A child who is very mobile, maybe a very young child. So you can have a strap around the arm. You can print low-tech boards. You can, if your child is using text-based AAC, you can have a low-tech keyboard. You can get t-shirts. You can get words printed on the t-shirt, and so on. So there are many options. So so we can reframe this mindset barrier if we have. It is possible to use it all the time, everywhere. So now you will see a video example of how you can model during the morning routine. And what you're not going to see in the video is the faces of the people who are in the video. So, but the AAC system is visible to the child, and the child is looking at the AAC system and also hearing the words that the parent is modeling. Good morning, Putta.
Good morning.
Get up, get up. Helu Putta, ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು.
Get. Get up.
Let's turn the fan off. Fan off.
Off.
Here the parent is saying, let's turn the fan off, but the parent tapped on let's off. Make the bed.
Bed.
What you?
Make bed. Bath.
It's time to have a bath. I'm
Switch on
turning the
geyser.
geyser on. So the child is, so you're introducing the vocabulary in a real communication context, in a real situation. And the child is, seeing that the AAC system is being used to communicate, and the meaning of those words is being demonstrated. So that's the whole point of modeling and introducing vocabulary within a natural context. So these are all the words that the parent modeled on the device. Whereas the interaction, you need not stop interacting. So it need not be good morning, tapping on the device, get up, tapping on the device. So you are interacting with the child. That's also very important to keep the connection going, to keep the interaction going. So this was the interaction. Good morning, get up, let's make the bed. So as you're interacting, you are tapping a few words, selected words, pre-decided words on the AAC system. So why we do that, why not the whole sentence, is because we'll get hung up, framing a sentence on the AAC system. Especially if you're starting out, if you're new, you are still, getting used to the system. You are figuring out where the words are. So it's important to start small. Just take one or two words per week, and then you repeat that, introduce the same words in different routines, and then keep building on. But keep the interaction going, keep the language input coming both ways, spoken as well as aided language input. This is another video where a parent is asking for a child's preference during mealtime.
You want curry or rasma? Pappu is not there today. No Pappu today. Okay. Rasam with pickle?
So here the parent offered the device, and she offered two choices, but the child chose something else, and then she said that's not available, but the child settled for something out of the options that were available. So this really gives, rather than just feeding the child without asking for the child's preferences, this really makes the child feel that I'm being asked, I'm being heard, I have some control over my environment. And that's the motivation for the child. So as soon as he asked for it, so he's going to get rasam and pickle. So that's a natural reinforcer. So umpteen opportunities during the day. Similarly, cooking, especially cooking, we are all cooking a lot since the lockdown, and we've been you can involve your child during any of these processes. So you decide. That's why I said identify the communication opportunity. Decide at which process, which stage do you want to involve your child, and where you want to model, what words you want to model. So during meal preparation, during cooking, during setting up a table, cleaning up, you can involve your child in all of these processes, or pick one, and depending on at what stage you are, what the many factors like the child's level and so on. So you can use words like, what would you like? You can involve your child in deciding the menu together. So that's when you can use words like, what would you like to eat for dinner? So the words that are in red in caps are the words, examples of the words you can model on the device. So as you're talking to the child, you tap on these words. So there is an opportunity to use all these words like open, close, turn on, pour, put in, take out, and describing words, descriptive words, adjectives like hot, cold, yummy, and so on. So here I would like to pause for some interaction. So you see all these pictures of the dough is being kneaded, and there are these sequential pictures. So so far we have established as to how to model and the vocabulary that goes with it, goes with the chore that you have selected, the activity that you have selected. So you can type in the chat box as to what you can say, what words you can model for each of these images. So let's take the first image. So I'll go first. So I will say finish kneading the dough. So what can you say for the second image? So it's like you're feeling the dough and describing the texture of the dough. So what can you say? What word can you use to model? Right, soft. Yeah, soft is a descriptive word. Yes, it's, look, the dough is soft. Yeah, it's sticky. It's sticky. That's right. Yes, and yeah, it's sticky or soft. Oops. Yeah, let's make round balls. Yeah, somebody said make balls for the next one. What can you? Right. And then the next image where the gas is turned on. So that's an opportunity to use location, words like turn on. Yeah, that's right. On, turn on the gas. And the next image where you've kept the tawa pan on the gas, and then what can you say? You can say, yes, it's hot, another descriptive word. So you're describing, you're using a descriptive word there. It's hot. You can also say, don't touch, don't. Don't is a negation word. You can say, don't touch, careful. Yeah, similarly. So you can say it's round, let's make it bigger, roll, right? You can use all of these action words here. Let's put it on the tawa. Let's take it off, on, off. These are all the words that you can introduce in this context, in a very natural context. And this is another common scene in Indian homes. So we either get the dishes washed or wash and put it for drying, and then we tend to put it back in their respective places in the kitchen. So you can use a lot of location words, prepositions here. So take the spoon out, put it in the drawer, put this above this, below this. It goes in here, put this there. So again, there is that immediate reinforcement where the child is introducing the word, you are providing aided language input, and of course you are making sure that you have the AAC system with you during this, if you have chosen this particular activity to model the words. And another suggestion is you can also print a chart. You can also print some of these words and put it, paste it on the fridge or in the kitchen, and make it more available. So this is another video example where the parent is talking about groceries. So they have shopped a few things, and then the parent is involving the child, interacting with the child, and modeling few words. Come here. I want you to see what we've got. What we've got from the shop. Yeah, see, I've got some things to eat. Yeah, we've got fruits. Banana, apple. Banana and apple. And we've also got some things that you like, snacks. Do you see what snacks I've got? Popcorn? There's no popcorn. You wanted popcorn? Oh no, there was no popcorn. We've got chips. Yes. See? Yeah, bingo. Bingo starts with B. See that? B. B for bingo. There's something else that starts with B here. Yeah, banana. That's right. Okay. Oh, there's something else that I want to tell you. Let me go back. I think you will feel surprised about something that you like. I'll give you a clue so you can guess. Okay. So it's a sweet that starts with. It's a sweet that starts with K. So as you can see here, the interaction is natural. There is that connection with the child. You're not losing out on that. And the parent is tapping on few selected words, and while continuing to interact with the child. And also I would like to draw your attention to the use of literacy. Any aspect of literacy that you are working on can be combined with AAC intervention. Like here, for example, the parent said, bingo. Oh, that's the name of the chips that they've got. And bingo starts with B. And then she said, I've got a sweet that starts with K. So you can combine, like if you're using, for example, Avaz. Avaz has both, pictures, symbols, and keyboard. So you can always go to the keyboard mode and incorporate these literacy activities that you're working on, goals that you're working on. So these are all the words that were modeled on the device, and and you heard the interaction that was going on. Okay, so so far we have looked at how to plan AAC intervention within your schedule, and the vocabulary, how to select vocabulary. I mean, how to select vocabulary is something that's going to be decided based on your child's level, and how to model the selected vocabulary on the AAC system is what we have looked at so far. So now, if you're someone who has started with all these things, you're doing these things, and you're looking at expanding, you're looking at motivating the child to use the system by themselves. So I'm going to talk about a few strategies here. So one strategy is, it's called sabotaging, or it's called communication temptation. So what we do here is we sabotage the environment, or we create a communication temptation, a situation where there is an obstacle, and the child has to authentically communicate. So I'll give you an example of this. Say you're putting some food on the plate. So just put a little bit, not enough. And then what you have in your mind is you want the child to ask for more. So you have the AAC system near the child, and then you just offer little food on the plate, and then you look look at the child with an expectant look, as if you are, requiring the child to say something, and then start counting in your head. You have to have those pauses between these things while you're doing these things. So once you have set up that situation, sabotage, have an expectant look and look at your child and start counting in your head, just to make that, just to have that pause. So as you're pausing, look at the child with an expectant look, and bring the device closer, the AAC system closer, and your child, that's an opportunity for your child to tap on more, because the child wants food, the child is hungry, looking forward to eating his favorite food. And so that's an opportunity, authentic opportunity for the child to tap on the word more in this particular example. So sabotage plus expectant pause. The expectant pause is what is very important here. This is one example. So you can set up similar sabotage in the communication temptations in the child's environment. Put your child's favorite snack in a jar that has a very tight lid. So the child has to come to you and ask for help. So if your child is still at the emergent level, the child may be gesturing or pulling you or beckoning you to come and open. So that's the opportunity for you to model, I think you want help. So you tap on help on the AAC system, or you can say, I think you want to say, I want to eat biscuit. So that's what you're modeling. Or if you have modeled for several times, now is the time to give the child the opportunity to use those words. So you bring the device closer, wait for a response, and then there is a prompting strategy that can be used. I'm not going into those details, but this is one strategy that you can use. So similarly, you can, while you're doing an activity, coloring or puzzle, you purposely don't give something that the child wants to complete that activity. And that's an opportunity for your child to request, right? So you're creating authentic opportunities and motivating your child to communicate with you. So your child is on the swing and then you're not pushing. You want the child to tell you to push. And then if you can suddenly, your child is watching a program on the TV and you can suddenly change or turn the TV off. And that's an opportunity for your child to protest and say, turn it on, I'm watching. So these are all examples of sabotage. Another simple strategy that even busy parents can incorporate is self-talk. Self-talk is commenting about your own actions. So you are, through the day, as if you're working from home, and then you are coming in and out, you're going in and out of the room, and then your child is there at home, you can keep commenting on, oh, I finished my work, I am feeling tired. So as you are talking, as you are commenting, you can tap those words on the device. So I'm feeling this
sad.
This news makes me sad. Oh, it's so hot today. So you go onto the weather folder and tap hot. Or I feel like I'm very tired. I feel like ordering some food. So you are making an authentic connection. You are being authentic. You're being real. You are talking about yourself. And the child is able to relate to your emotions as well, your feelings as well. Oh, this situation makes my mother or father happy. This situation is making them sad. So you're introducing the vocabulary in a real context. Similarly, there's something called parallel talk, where you are commenting on your child's actions. So as you can see in this video, the child is, what you can say is, oh, the tiger is jumping, or the tiger is running, or tiger, go, 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 go. So you can model these words and comment on the child's actions. So the child is relating his actions to the words, and especially in emerging communicators where they have not yet developed symbolic communication, this is a very good strategy to use. So they are relating their actions to words. Another technique, so we some of you in the Google form have also asked for, how to expand, how to go from here. So you already have your, say your child is requesting, making his needs met by using single words. How can you expand? How can you increase the sentence length? So expansion technique is one strategy that you could use there. So this is one example. So you have Play-Doh, that's the activity you plan, and then your child taps on ball. You can expand by adding another word. So if your child is using single words, always expand by adding another word. If your child is using two words, putting two words together, add another word and make it a 3-word sentence. So you will tap make ball while you're saying let's make a ball. If your child says red, you expand saying red ball, or let's make a red ball, or you want to make a red ball. So you focus on some aspect of the communication, like do you want to use words, descriptive words, and expand their sentence, or you want to add a noun and expand the sentence? So it can be done in many ways. Okay, so this is a video, another video which where you will see an activity-based modeling. So there's this stacking rings activity. So some of the words that you can model here are put in, take out, and big. Let's put the big ring first. So as you're saying, you're tapping on the device. Let's put the big ring first. Okay, big. Okay, good. Next. So expansion also involves adding grammatical features to modeling.
Big.
Biggest.
Let's
find
biggest.
The biggest ring. Yes, that's the biggest. So if your child already knows the word big, you can incorporate bigger, biggest, comparative, and superlative aspects of the adjectives. So if you turn on the grammar feature on Avaz, if you're using Avaz, then every adjective will show the comparative and superlative. Every verb will show the past tense, future tense. And every noun will show the plural, singular, and plural options on top of the word when you tap the word. So that's also a strategy to expand language. So the vocabulary that was modeled during this activity was big, bigger, biggest. You can also incorporate colors in this activity. You can model colors, or you can even create a sabotage here, communicative temptation here, give a wrong ring to put in, and then model not this, not is a negation word that you can model. Or you can ask your child, you can let your child direct your actions. So say, I'm going to do it now. Can you direct me as to how to do it? Can you give me instructions? And then the child can, you're creating an opportunity for your child to use those words and instruct you. So this is another example of TV time interaction. So the parent is looking at watching TV, something of her own choice, and then the child starts banging the table. I think you want to say something. You want to say something?
TV.
Okay.
Sports channel.
Okay, you want sports channel. Okay, let's change to sports channel. Look, here's your sports channel. So, and then there's no volume, and then the child, what happened? You purposely, you're not giving, you're not letting the volume up. There's no volume. You want the volume. Has to request for.
Disappointed and sad when we haven't got the results that we wanted, and we are ever so grateful for your support.
So the important thing, I want to draw your attention to two important things here. So one is to pause. to have those pauses, to have that period of silence where you give the child time to process and ask, formulate his or her response. So sometimes it could be 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, or even more. So that's very important. And another strategy is to attribute meaning to your child's actions. So here the child was banging the table, and then you understand, you as a parent, you know your child very well, and you know that the child wants to watch another channel, but you are you're waiting for the child to respond using AAC, or you are either attributing meaning, or you're attributing meaning. You're saying, I see you banging the table, so I think you want to say something. I think you want me to stop watching this channel or change this channel. So you're attributing meaning, and you are showing, you are modeling symbolic communication there, how words can be used in place of that behavior. But you're also acknowledging the behavior. You're not directly replacing. No, don't do that. Use the words, tap on the device, tell me. None of that. You're acknowledging every gesture, every behavior is also communication. So it's important to acknowledge that, and then comment on how symbolic communication can be used. Another aspect that you can target to expand your child's language is to let your child direct your actions, give instructions to others. So that's another aspect of language, another aspect of communication. So here I have an example. This is an app called My Play Home app. If your child is kind of interested, many children are interested in using this, and we've got them. I mean, many children are interested, and it's been very helpful. So that's why I thought I'll share this. It's called My Play Home app. It's available on Android and iOS. So you can use a lot of code words here. So you can make the boy come down, go up, go to the kitchen, open the fridge, take the plate, put the plate on the table, take sandwich out. So give it to the mother or give it to the woman. So make the boy jump on the trampoline. Push. So what do we do now? Let's push the girl. So you can make it interactive and model some of the vocabulary here. Another thing that we encountered was, of course, online classes. A lot of children were finding it difficult to sit through online classes, and that's where we added few new things on their AAC systems. For one child, it was, I need a break. So to ask for a break. And again, we expanded on what kind of break does the child want? Do you want to listen to music, or do you want to take a quick walk around the house, or put deep pressure? For one child, it is like deep pressure, pressing the arm. Do you want to bounce on the therapy ball, straws, coins, all that sensory things that they would like to have? You can incorporate, and this will again give them a sense of being heard, being able to have some control over their environment. Okay, so far we've looked at modeling, how to model, the vocabulary that you can model in various daily routines and context activities. So now let's look at the AAC journey, how it starts, and how you can, to what extent your child can go up to, the stages of AAC development. So here on the left-hand side, I have a picture of a very young child. The child is pointing, looks like the child is pointing at a toy. So here, as a parent, it's very instinctive to get up and give the toy to the child. But say you are starting to implement AAC, what would be your response? What would you do in this context? So please do type in the chat box. So what will be your response to this child if you are beginning to implement AAC for this child? Help. Yes. So you can model the word help. I need help. I think you want to say, I need help. Yes, model the word give or toy, get, want. Yes, these are the words that you can, yeah, I want, right? So that's the vocabulary that we can model. We've got that right. But how are we going to do that? That's the next aspect, right? So are you going to, take the device, just model, or you're going to pick the child's hand and then make the child press the button? So what would be the do and what would be the don't? So the do is, the don't is making him press, because you're just starting out, you're just starting to implement AAC, and you are just modeling without requiring the child to show you that, this is the word. So you just model want for the first time, or maybe for the second time or the fifth time, and then you want the child to press the button. That's a don't. Yeah, just model first. Help the child press button. Not yet. If you're just starting, not yet. You're just modeling without expectation. You're just modeling without requiring the child to show you that he has understood. There's no testing here. Because if you bring in that aspect, then the child loses its motivation to use the system. So if you are testing, and if you are questioning, and if you're requiring the child to show it to you, prove it to you that he can communicate, he should communicate this way, that's you're not going to go too far. So that's a don't. So initially you are modeling without expectation, without requiring the child to do what you are doing, repeat what you're doing. So what you can, the do in this particular situation is, so you take the AAC system near the child and say, I can see you pointing. So you are verbally referencing the behavior of the child and then attributing words to it. I think you are saying, I want the toy. Okay, let me give you the toy. Here's your toy. So that's what that's a do. That's what you're going to do. Verbally reference your child's behavior. If you are seeing behaviors like turning away, pushing, or not showing interest, so attribute meaning to that. Verbally reference it. Say what it is, what the behavior is, because we need to move children from that pre-intentional stage to intentional stage of communication, like where they know, where they understand that, oh, is this the behavior that I'm that's the behavior that my mother is talking about, and oh, okay, so is it conveying this meaning to her? So the child understands and begins to understand, process the vocabulary that you're using. So that's about it. So this would be an example of an emerging communicator. So these are all the different stages that a child would go through, as the child might be starting out as an emerging communicator, and maybe then the child learns, gets familiar with the AAC system, and then starts requesting, expressing wants and needs. And then you're looking at expanding, like all the strategies that we talked about so far. You are expanding, and now the child is able to understand, comprehend a lot more language, and you are modeling different communicative functions as well. I'll come to what different communicative functions are. So as a parent, you need not know these terms, and you need not bother about detecting where your child is. So that's not the message here. The message here is that it's a journey, it's a long journey. We have to be in it for the long haul. What happens is that, like, there's an emergent communicator or a wants and needs communicator, and then we quickly want the child to jump into becoming an independent communicator. So that's not possible. So there are these stages, and your SLP can coach you and direct you and guide you in moving the child through these stages. So here's an example of Nishant. This is what an independent communicator looks like. So we say that the goal of AAC is that we want the individual to say what he or she wants to say to whoever he or she wants to say, wherever and whenever. So if all these conditions are fulfilled, then the communicator is an independent communicator. So here through this video, you can see Nishant requesting for food and items during breakfast time, and he also requests for food, makes his choices at a restaurant, and then he requests, he has taken it, you can see him using it in a movie theater as well.
Want gochu?
So here he's requesting for food, and in another situation, for lack of time, I'm going to direct you to watch this. This video is available on both Avaz YouTube channel and Amaze Charitable Trust. So this is something that you can look out for. So many of you have also asked about how to make your child an independent communicator. So it's not only, so far we have focused on building linguistic competencies, like how to build language, how to get started, how to expand, and so on. There are other competencies that an AAC user learner will have to develop. Operational competency, like how to, being able to take the device everywhere, or AAC system everywhere, being able to maintain it, turning it on, turning it off, turning the volume up and down, charging it, and strategic usage of the AAC system. Like if there is a communication breakdown, the user should know what to say in that situation. Like an easy example that I can give you of strategic competency is, you see these buttons, mistake.
I made a mistake.
On Avaz, and there is this alert button. So say the communication partner is somewhere far away, and the child wants the attention of the communication partner. So the child needs to know that, what the child can do with the AAC system to call for attention. So those are strategic competencies. Social competencies are using language for social needs, being able to invite a peer to join in the play, using greetings, manners, all of that. Being able to participate in a group activity, in a group situation. And emotional competencies, being able to express one's own feelings and being able to relate to others' feelings. So the next topic is, of course, on building emotional competencies. So that's an important aspect. So making a child an independent communicator, involves all this process. So it's not just building linguistic competency. So these are all the different reasons why we communicate. These are all the different purposes we communicate. So we communicate to greet somebody, to express feelings, to express our opinion, share information, to agree, protest, report something, or to share a joke. So we need to model all of these communicative functions. So not just the words, not just the action words, not just the location words, not just the language, but using language, how to use these words, how to use this vocabulary in a particular situation. So say you're talking about news, some news, you're watching some news. So there you can model how you can express an opinion on that particular thing, or what you see or what you hear. So I think this is not fair. This is bad, or this is not good. So you model all of these, each of these communicative functions as well, to expand the communication of the AAC user. Shared reading, listening is another great activity. These are all the resources that you can use: personal pictures, magazines, recipe books, comic books, Fun Duda books. There's an app called Fun Duda books. You can check out that. Story Weaver for Indian stories. Interaction while folding clothes. This is an opportunity to use a lot of pronouns. And then modeling, asking a question, like, you can say, if you want to teach your child, to show your child how to ask questions, the way to do that is to not ask questions yourself. So make a statement. So in this video, I'm not going to play the video, I'm just going to explain it. So the parent is saying that we are going somewhere tomorrow, and pausing to see the child's reaction, and then look at the child with an expectant look. And then after, that countdown in your head, after a while, you say, if you want to know more, you can ask a question. So you're verbally, prompting, directing the child. And even if that doesn't work, then you may probably say, I think most people would want to ask a question to know more, and then go to the question folder and then model, or the child might respond saying, where are we going? And another thing that you can do at home is, there are so many problems that we encounter in our daily lives. We run out of vegetables or food, or there's a tap leaking, or there are too many mosquitoes evening time. There's no domestic help hasn't turned up. So any of these situations, involve your child in the problem solving conversations that you have. So involve your child, say to them, explain to them what has happened, and you can model, in this situation, I have a suggestion. I think we can do this. So you're modeling, how to get involved in a particular situation. So you're building concepts, you're building that know-how, you're demonstrating it. So this is what parents have to say about modeling. This is what Ms. Akila Vaidyanathan of Amaze Charitable Trust has said about modeling. So she says, modeling helps build familiarity for both the communication partner and the AAC user in terms of navigating the system and introducing new vocabulary. But the pitfall to watch out for is your modeling style should not be blocking the connection, the flow of the conversation that you're having with the child. So that's why I said start out small. Initially, you're getting used to the system. The child is getting used to the system. Start out small. Don't try to complete a whole sentence on the AAC system. You are modeling certain words, and then you are also making sure that you're connecting with the child. So prioritize connection, make it, that's the whole intention. It's not about the device, it's more about the child. Make it motivating and fun for the child. And another parent, this is a parent called Kim Rankin. She has a blog called Hold My Words. She says there are 3 supports I need to model AAC consistently at home. So many of you have asked for, many of you have said, expressed that modeling consistently is quite a challenge. So you'll need a coach. You will need to team up with your SLP. You'll need to team up with your family members, and you'll need an SLP or a coach to break it down into, like I shared in the beginning, what, when, who, and how. And then an accountability partner, like if you're SLP, you can make your SLP an accountability partner. So every week you go through, you reflect on how modeling went on, what were the barriers, what can be done. So all that really helps. We all do better when we have an accountability partner. This is something that if you would like to know, I would show how to print a low-tech version. There are some mnemonics as to remember what we discussed, the themes that we discussed. So there's one mnemonic by Tabby Jones, and then one that I thought of while making this presentation. So it's called Mantra, modeling without expectation. That's a key message. You are not requiring, you're not testing the child. You are just modeling, you're just showing, demonstrating how words can be used in a situation, in a context. And having an accountability partner it really helps. Not giving up attitude. It takes, like I told you, the different stages. It's a long journey. So not giving up attitude is really important, and teamwork is really important. So you should team up with professionals, discuss with them, and also with the other members of your family, and then reflect and revisit strategies and see what went right, what went wrong, and what you can do, what you can reframe, and accept that AAC is a journey, be in it for the long haul. So Krista Howard is one AAC user, and she says, she's now a mentor as well. So she says, I had my device for 5 years before I was really interested in using it. So it can, some children really take to it quickly. Some of them, it happens slowly, but slow and steady is the message. So coming to, just to round it off, I need to have your feedback on, do you think you have understood, I mean, do you recognize the importance of planning? Do you think it helps? And do you think you can take home some ideas to implement from this presentation for your child? And do you think some of these strategies discussed, what strategies do you think, what ideas do you think you can take home from this presentation? If you would like to share, I'd be happy to know.
So Anjana, maybe I can just share this poll, and we also have a survey at the end of this session that they will be completing, and it will include what are their takeaways as well.
Right, okay.
So I would like everyone to also take those, and thanks for sharing it here as well.
Okay. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this presentation. Any questions?
Yeah, thanks. That was a great session with a lot of useful ideas for implementing. I'd like to first share the poll. If everyone can quickly give your rating on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this webinar to other parents or professionals? And then we'll go on to the Q&A. If you can quickly write this. In the meanwhile, I'm allowing Beju Thomas to talk. Beju, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello, madam. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you.
Yes. How we can use this system to be for the age, those children are grown-up children.
Okay.
It will be useful for the grown-up children.
Yes, absolutely. It will be useful. There's no age bar. You can use it for children, very young children, as well as the ones who are teenagers or even older.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Another question from Chinmayi. New to AAC, just started this week. How many words are recommended to start with?
Okay. So the general recommendation is to start small. You can start with, say, 5 to 6 words initially. Model it, discuss with your SLPS to like, what are the words that can be used. So the general recommendation is use a combination of words which have different communicative functions. Like you can choose want to request, you can choose more, that's another form of requesting. Then you can use stop or don't to give the opportunity, I mean, to give yourself the opportunity to model protesting or saying no, and maybe things like fun or good, a question word like what. These are the things that can be used. Or another suggestion that I would like to give you is you can also include words that are very motivating for your child, like the toy that your child loves to play with, or the snack that your child loves to eat. That's also those are also some words that you can start with. Start modeling.
Okay, one more person has asked how to have larger picture in one window. My kid has convergence issue.
Okay, larger picture in one window. So,
Yeah.
okay. So I understand that you are referring to the pictures per screen.
That's
There is,
it.
yeah. So there's a setting on Avaz under picture settings. Under picture settings, if you tap settings on Avaz, there is picture settings, and you can choose the pictures per screen. So you can choose anything from 1 picture to 77 pictures. So if you think that your child has vision issues, you can start with less number of pictures. So, but the general recommendation is to set the number of pictures that your child can see and touch. So have as many as possible, like the maximum that your child can see and touch. So don't go by, because what happens is by setting the pictures per screen to just 2 pictures or 3 or 4 pictures, as the child's language grows, you'll have to add more words, and the location of the words get changed. So it's always good to, the recommendation is to go for higher number of pictures per screen, more number of words. We want to give a robust system to the child, not limited vocabulary.
Padmini says, can we use regional language in sentence level?
Regional language and sentence level. Yeah, that's possible.
Basic.
So I have tried doing that with Hindi. So it is possible, but you'll have to work around the settings a little bit. So you'll have to set the voice and the print. If you want the print also to be in the local language, it's possible. Yeah, it is possible. Like something like, I'm just this is something that, okay, I'm not getting the voice. So it is possible. Yeah, you can make 3 sentences with three or more words.
So Avaz India already has regional language folders.
Right.
Padmini, yeah, that you can use, which are available for you to use. I'm not sure if you're asking, is it a good idea to use in sentence level, or are you asking, is it possible to use? Because, yeah, doing it at sentence level is, it doesn't allow as much for spontaneous communication. So I'm not sure of your question. Okay, Chinmayi says, okay, is it possible to use? Yeah, thanks. We speak in Hindi, but in Avaz using English, is it okay? We speak in Hindi, but in Avaz using English, is it okay?
Yes, absolutely. There are many parents who do that. You can be speaking in Hindi, and the print, you're exposing the print in English, to the print in English. That's a possibility too.
Okay, Chinmay says, thank you. I've started with want, some snacks, yes and no.
Okay, yeah, that's a great start.
Great,
Yes.
yeah. Preeti says, my son is 5 years nonverbal. He has no interest on screen. How can I start AAC?
Okay. So if you think that screen is not something that is interesting, you can print. You can have low-tech. You can have low-tech versions. Like I said, I have heard stories from other SLPs who have used the child's most desirable object, like print words on the cushion, if the child is attached to it, or print words on the t-shirt, on your t-shirt, or you can even print it on a coffee mug. So start out, something, you can try out a creative way of using it. And again, another thing that I would suggest is focus on interaction, focus on connecting with the child more, getting the child interested in interacting, and then it becomes easier to include an AAC system. So you need to start out, you need to look out for what your child is interested in, and then, build on that if that's something that you can work more
Right.
on.
Okay. So Preeti says he can identify 15 to 20 pictures like car, apple, shoes, but not sure in real world. Can AAC be implemented?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So you're saying that your child is pointing out on the AAC system, but not in the real context, right?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah, I think she means that he's identifying pictures which are all nouns, but not really using it in the real world.
Okay. So there's no generalization happening there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what was kind of emphasized in this presentation. You do it, you bring it out, you bring out the vocabulary in a natural situation. So it's not like, so you hold a car and then say, this is a car, this is a bus, and this is this, and this is that. You do something with it. You do an activity and you interact. You create an interaction around that activity and then use those words. That's when generalization happens. So it's not just matching, it's not just labeling. There should be some interaction around it for the child to be able to understand, oh, this word is used in this context, in that context, and so on.
Yeah. So Indrani Rekha says, how do you take a print? Please show the path on settings.
Okay, right. I will quickly show.
It's on the edit mode, actually.
Yes.
In the meanwhile, all those who haven't taken the poll, can you please take the poll so that I can end the poll? There are still quite a few who haven't yet taken it.
Advanced.
May I request everyone to complete the poll, please?
So on Avaz, you have the settings on the upper panel, upper menu bar. And if you scroll down, there's a drop-down menu when you tap on settings. So when you scroll down, you have oh yeah, so sorry, it's on the edit mode. So you have to press edit, tap on edit. So when you tap on edit, you see this on the right hand side bottom, print. You see this option, print. And when you tap on print, tap on print, you get these options: make an Avaz book with this category, export this category, import a category here. You can choose make an Avaz book with this category. Okay, so there's some glitch here. So when you do that, it creates a book. Oh, I tapped for the whole. Okay, so you can create a book. You can go to edit and then choose print, and then you can create a book, or you can just print that particular page as well. And then take a printout. So you get something like this. You get something like this, which you can save on the same device, or you can export it to your mail. You can send it to your email and then take a printout from there. So these are all examples of printouts taken from Avaz.
Yeah. Referring to Preeti's, where she said car, Apple shoes, etc. Yeah, true that Akila says communication is beyond labeling. So these are all just labeling items. So it doesn't really enable you to communicate, right? So yeah, that's something that Anjana, you may want to just clarify to them.
That's why, in AAC intervention, core words are the focus. So we introduce words such as open, go, on, want, stop. So these are words that we're using frequently in every other communication context. It's not just requesting. It's not just in one particular context. So there is a repetition of that. The frequency of usage of these words are more. Compared to table, chair, car, how many times do we use this? So in how many sentences, in how many contexts can you use table or car? It's very limited. So go for words that have more usage, more occurrence.
Right. Yeah, I think there's one more question. Kamala says, okay, before that, I think Shilpi Mishra, I'm just allowing you to talk. Can you please unmute your mic and go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a wonderful talk. First of all, I want to congratulate you because I'm a beginner in the Avaz. Actually, I tried many times with my daughter. She's very much interested in the visual cards. So that's how the Avaz is very effective with her. But what I find very like difficult in Avaz is you have to get the subcategories done. Like if she's heard somewhere and she cannot point out like I'm heard. So I have to go to that very the subcategory, and then I have to ask her, is it an easy way out that the child can go to the Avaz app and just click like for the basic thing, like if she's hurt or somebody has hit her, or because the main problem with the child is if she's going out, you don't know what the other person or the normal kids or bullying or whatever is happening at the school. So for that reason, if the child wants to communicate, like if she's hit by someone or she's hurt, so is there any way that without going into subcategories, is there an easy way out in Avaz that those like 5 or 6 things could be like on the screen? I find it difficult in the Avaz app.
Okay. So first thing I want to say is you can customize it. You can you can create a folder on the home screen itself, saying you can label it as reporting. Say you can label it as reporting, and then put those things, the 3-4 items that you mentioned. You can put it in that folder, so the child has access to it quickly. And
can you give me an example of how to go about like you said?
Yeah. So that's so that's easy. So you can go into. Are you aware of how to create a folder on Avaz and how to add?
We need to go to the setting or the edit. I actually am not too, because whenever I used it, the things that you had already on Avaz, I'm just editing on those categories only. Like if she wants to watch some of the Disney Junior cartoons or something like that, I've created a folder like watch Disney Junior, and I have like 10 or 11 cartoons on it, and then she points out which one she wants to watch. So that's how I've created it. Or if she wants to eat something, so what to eat kind of a folder I have created. So I am not very well versed with how to go about it.
Okay. So I guess do we have time to, Lalita? Do we have time? Or
Just
maybe
a major testing, if you can just let us know how to, just the major step, if you could.
Yes, go into edit mode. Edit mode is turned on, and then you can see that on the left-hand side. Mine is an iOS version here, so it might look a little different on the if you are on the Android device. So
No, I have an iPad only. That's good for me. Yeah, that's good for me.
Edit. Go to edit first, and then it'll and then on the left-hand side there is this add new. So when you
Yes.
tap add new, there are 3 things. Add
Yes.
if you want to create a folder, go for add a category, new category. This kind of
I think we can do this later. There are demos online, and you can definitely view those demos.
I have
because
done,
that's
actually,
really...
I have done this, but if I want to like go to this folder only, so how shall I go to that folder directly? I've created those
Yes.
folders like new category.
Yes,
so
yes.
that I just in the setting you have to go and let's type the folder. That's it.
Yes.
If I need to open that.
Yeah, you can just double click and enter the category.
Okay,
Really, we do plan to have a session on Avaz itself exclusively. So I'm sure you can attend that, because there are other questions that are waiting to be answered related to this. I'm sorry about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. One from Kamala Kanuri, and maybe this is one of the last questions we'll take. What AAC device or app would be suitable for a child who shows more repetitive and aggressive behavior issues while using gadgets, especially iPad and iPhone? My 7-year-old and non-verbal, he usually watches only YouTube on gadgets for movie songs. And when we don't provide the app on the screen, he throws tantrums. He won't touch the gadget even for any other fun or educational app.
Okay, so first of all, having a dedicated communication device is a blanket recommendation for everybody. So if your child, if you have YouTube games and everything and Avaz on the same device, it might not work out. And if that's the issue, if that's the case, having another device where you have only Avaz on that will be helpful. So that's one thing. And then as I mentioned, there are other AAC options as well. You can start out with low tech and get your child interested in. You can choose vocabulary that your child, like say YouTube video, you start with that. So create a communication chart with the words, with the videos that your child likes to watch, the names of those videos and things like that. And you could bring that and model it during the time that your child wants to watch it, and then say, okay, I think you're saying you want to watch YouTube now, or the name of the video, and then hand him the device. So you could introduce it that way. So that way there's no struggle happening between the two.
Any other questions? Geeta says, if my daughter is given a choice, she selects the last word. How do you make her learn that she has to ask what she wants?
Yeah, right. So that's the case with many children. So you, again, I think creating a pause there, or giving it, present it visually rather than, auditorily. If there is a tendency to choose the last word that was heard, present it visually and ask her to point or choose or tap, indicate to you in a certain way. Or you could use a yes, no to confirm whether that was a choice that was made by the child. I think presenting it visually, that would be my suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we are done with most of the questions, all the questions. Okay, we can end the session now. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and I hope you found it useful. I really request you to take the quick survey, which has just 3 questions as to what you found useful in today's session. Request you to please take it so that we get a feedback of what you're looking for in the sessions. And please do join us next week for the last session by Akila Vaidyanathan. This is on the emotional development for the child and how do you help them express themselves better. So see you next week, same day, same time. And please do take the survey questions right after the ending the webinar. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And attention. Thank you. Bye.